What if the most important member of one of the greatest bands of all time was the one standing in the back? He didn't sing the biggest notes, he didn't stand at the center of the mic, but without him, there was no groove, no movement, and no Earth, Wind, and Fire. Before the horns soared, before harmonies lifted the spirits, before Earth, Wind, and Fire became a movement, there was a groove. A groove so alive, it didn't just support the music, it danced with it. This is a story of a bassist who refused to stand still, the musician who turned rhythm into motion, the heartbeat that made Earth, Wind, and Fire fly. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Verdine White. Now, if you guys love my videos and love supporting me, then I suggest you become a member of the channel where I will be releasing exclusive videos just for you all. Be sure to get that family tier so you won't miss out on these exclusive perks. If you guys would love to connect with me outside of YouTube, then I am officially announcing that I am on Discord. Here, you can provide me with feedback on my recent uploads, you could drop your suggestions for future videos, or if you just want to chat it up about videos or about music in general, or just about anything, we could do it here. We could do it together. I hope to see you there. Now, before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more content. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. Born Verdine Adams Jr. on July 25, 1951 in Chicago, Illinois, a city where blues, jazz, gospel, and soul music lived side by side. Music wasn't just background noise in the White household, it was foundation. His father, Verdine Sr., was a doctor who also played the saxophone. His older brother, Maurice, was already immersed in jazz and section work, studying percussion and observing the spiritual side of music. White grew up listening to records by Miles Davis, John Cawthon, and other jazz performers. He was also influenced by Cleveland Eaton, the Beatles, MOTOWN music, and his two brothers, Fred and Maurice. When Verdine was 15, he spotted a double bass guitar in his high school orchestra, and that's when he made the decision that he wanted to play it. Growing up, he observed everything from MOTOWN grooves, James Jamerson melodic bass lines, jazz walking bass, and the funk rhythms bubbling up from the streets. But even then, one thing separated him from other players. He didn't just hear the rhythm, he felt it in his body. He quickly acquired a Reg Electric bass guitar, and upon recommendation of his brother Maurice and his father, he began taking lessons. According to Verdine, he learned everything about the bass guitar from Louis Stratosphere, and his early inspirations was James Jamerson, Paul McCartney, and Gary Carr. Verdine began performing with local bands and Chicago club scenes after switching from an upright bass to a recently purchased Fender Telecaster. Meanwhile, his brother Maurice was a former session drummer at Chess Records, and he was also part of the Ramsey Lewis trio. He found a group that was named the Salty Peppers, and they had a local hit that drew the attention of Capitol Records. Maurice traveled to Los Angeles in the early 70s with the intentions of recording the group, which he renamed Earth, Wind, and Fire, and he phoned his brother Verdine to see if he wanted to join, which he did, arriving on June 6, 1970, and the rest was history. Verdine wasn't just a bassist, he was the engine. From the start, his playing was punchy, melodic, aggressive, yet joyful. His bass didn't just sit back in the mix, it pushed the music forward. Songs like Sing a Song, Sing a Song, Shining Star, and That's the Way of the World revealed his signature approach, which was short, syncopated phrases locked tightly with the drums while still leaving rooms for horns and vocals to soar. Way down in your heart and soul. Don't hesitate. This was a traditional bass playing. This was funk as choreography. At a time when bassists was expected to stand quietly in the background, Verdine broke every rule. He jumped, spun, and danced across the stage. Bass strapped low, smile wide, and energy was endless. For Verdine, movement wasn't showmanship. It was the rhythm that made visible. Audiences didn't just hear Earth, Wind & Fire, they felt them. His kinetic presence helped redefine what a bassist could be, influencing generations of performers who realized that you didn't have to choose between musicianship and performance. He proved that you could have both. As the 70s marked Earth, Wind & Fire creative and commercial peak, Verdine bass was the center of it all. On songs like September, Boogie Wonderland, Let's Groove, and Fantasy. Each of these songs showcase a bassist who understood restraint as much as flash. Verdine's lines was never overcrowded. It was economical. His lines was joyful, and they perfectly locked into the band's rhythmic ecosystem. While Maurice shaped the vision, Verdine gave it motion, grounded cosmetic ideas in a danceable reality. Verdine's influence stretches far beyond Earth, Wind & Fire. His playing helped bridge funk and disco, soul and pop, jazz musicianship, and mainstream appeal. Artists and bassists across genres, from funk to R&B to pop, study his feel, his tone, and his ability to energize a song without ever overpowering it. Even hip-hop producers who would later sample Earth, Wind & Fire tracks built on Verdine grooves, proving that his bass lines had a timeless, universal appeal. At the core of this story is his bond with his brother. Their relationship was built on trust, a shared vision, and deep respect. Maurice provided the spiritual and concept framework, while Verdine translated that vision into rhythmic emotion. When Maurice stepped back from touring due to health issues, Verdine became one of the band's emotional anchors, carrying not just the music, but the legacy. Now, for more information about the band, Earth, Wind & Fire, I highly suggest you checking out my tribute video to them. Also, I highly suggest you checking out my tribute video to Maurice White. On December 19th, 2024, Verdine released his debut solo album titled Superman. The title track was a remembrance of his late brother Maurice. The song was produced by his wife Shirley Clarke, who was a member of the 1970s group Honeycomb. This was Verdine's first song as a lead singer. As the band bassist since its beginning, the band has won 6 Grammy Awards and received 2 honorary Grammy Awards. The band has also been nominated for a Grammy a total of 18 times. They also has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Vocal Group Hall of Fame, among many more accolades. The group also has over 50 gold and platinum albums with over 90 million records sold worldwide. Earth, Wind & Fire accolades speaks for themselves. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Grammys Lifetime Achievement Awards, and generations of sold-out crowds. Verdine's true legacy lives elsewhere, and every bassist who learned the grooves could be joyful, physical, and alive. He didn't just play the bass, he embodied the rhythm. Verdine remains a symbol of what funk was always meant to be, which was uplifting and full of life. His bass lines still move the dance floors. His stage presence still inspires performers, and his energy still reminds us that music isn't just heard, it's felt. Now, before we go, I have a few questions for you all. What is your favorite song by Earth, Wind & Fire? Also, who from the Earth, Wind & Fire collective would you like to see next?